All right, after you write your table of contents, go ahead and go to your notes page, and then you have a vocab word. Just so you know what equivalent fractions are, they're fractions that have the same value. Okay, so an example down here, I have 1/2 and 2/4 are equivalent fractions, and I'm going to show you why in a minute. Okay, so go ahead and take a second to write this down. All right, when we talk about fractions, one very, very good thing to remember, and you might want to write this down as well, is every fraction is written as part over whole. Okay, so your numerator is always your part. It's a piece of something. Your denominator is always the whole. So if we're talking about a pizza and how many pieces you ate, say there were 20 pieces in the pizza, that would be your denominator. Say you ate 13 of those pieces. Okay, the fraction would be written as 13 over 20. Okay, part over whole. That's how fractions are always written. Next, if you guys are, you haven't quite done fractions a lot, don't really remember it, which one's your numerator, the top or the bottom? Victoria? It's the top. Okay, so if you need to write that down as well, numerator, and then your denominator is on the bottom. Okay, write that down if you think you're going to forget that as well. Gotta squeeze it in there. Denominator. Okay, so fractions that have the same value. I gave you the example of 1/2 and 2/4. Well, let's draw that so I can prove to you that they have the same value. Okay, if I'm looking at this as part over whole, okay, this means how many pieces am I going to make? 2. So I'm just going to split this in half. Are there 2 pieces now? Yeah, and how many do I need to color in? 1, because my part is 1. Okay, so I'm going to color in 1 piece. So do we all agree that that's 1/2?
Yes.
1/2 of the circle? All right, well, let's do 2/4. So if I'm looking at this as part over whole, how many pieces do I need? 4. So I'm going to split it down the middle this way. I'm going to split it across this way. I need to make them as close as possible, but you guys get the picture, right? And then how many do I need to color in? 2, because my part is 2. So I'm going to color in 1 right here. And I'm going to color in 1 down here. Well, what do you notice about 1/2 and 2/4?
They're the same.
They're the same. It's the same amount colored in. Can somebody give me another one that would look like this that's an equivalent fraction? Jamie? Let me help you out. What if I did this? If I leave the shading in there, and I draw one going this way, and one going this way. Now how many pieces do I have all together, Jamie?
9.
Oh, come again. Close.
8.
I have 8 pieces, and how many are colored in? 4. Okay, so if I write that as a fraction, okay, so this is what I kind of created over here. That would say 4 over 8. And you said I had 4 pieces colored in. So is 4 over 8 equivalent to 2 over 4?
Yes.
Is it also equivalent to 1 over 2?
Yes.
Yeah, these are all the same, right? Yeah, Victoria? Ooh, if we did 1/3, let's look at that. So she said 1/3. Thirds get a little bit tricky with circles. You kind of make like a peace sign without the middle thing. Okay, and then I color in 1. What do you think, Victoria? Is that the same as colored in as this one and this one and this one? Nope, not quite. So 1/3 would not be an equivalent fraction. Brooke, can you think of another one? Okay, so 3 over 6. Let's look at that one. So I'm going to split it here. So you're saying I need 6 pieces altogether, right?
Right.
And I need to color in how many? 3. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. And there's a way we're going to learn how to create equivalent fractions without having to draw them. It's actually really easy. Okay, so let's move on. All right, you need to write this down up here. This is how you create an equivalent fraction. You create an equivalent fraction. You have to either multiply or divide both your numerator and denominator by the same number. Okay, so we'll do an example of multiplication and we'll do an example of division as soon as you guys write this down. Okay, so you either multiply or divide your numerator and denominator by the same number. Alright, so go ahead and write down, when you're done writing this down up here, write down this first example, just put example and then 1/2, and then I'm going to walk through the rest with you. So write down example 1/2, and we're going to create an equivalent fraction for 1/2. Alright, so it says up here to create an equivalent fraction, you can either multiply or divide, so one or the other, both your numerator and denominator by the same number. So if I look at 1/2, can I divide 1 and 2 by the same number?
No.
Victoria? Yeah, we can't. So in this case, to create an equivalent fraction, we have to multiply. Okay, so I just picked the number 2. You can pick any number you want. Pick your lucky number. Pick 500. Okay, you can pick any number you want. I kept it nice and simple and chose the number 2. Okay, so what I did is I took my numerator, the 1, and I multiplied it by 2. And I took my denominator and I multiplied that by 2, because you have to multiply both your numerator and denominator by the same number in order for it to be equivalent. Okay, so then over here I gave you the answer. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so our equivalent fractions are 1/2 and 2/4. Well, we already said those were equivalent because we drew them out. But when the numbers get kind of bigger, it's harder to tell. Okay? That's all you have to do to make an equivalent fraction. Yeah, Jamie?
Oh, I thought you always did like multiply 2 times 1 and 2 times 2.
We did that.
No. I mean like, first one, using 1 times 2.
Right? And got 2?
No, down this way. 1 times 2.
Oh, down this way?
Yeah.
No, you do not multiply your numerator and denominator. That will not give you an equivalent fraction. Okay, so you need to pick a number, any number you want, and you need to multiply both your numerator and denominator by that same number. Okay, so then my next example down at the bottom here is an example where you can make an equivalent fraction with dividing. Okay, so write down this as your example, 4/8, 4/8. Okay, and I chose that, well, I looked at 4 and 8, they're both even, so we can divide by 2. So I took 4 divided by 2, 8 divided by 2, and I got 2/4. Okay, so we now have 4/8 is equivalent to 2/4, and I even did it one more time. I saw that you can divide by 2 again on both of them, so I got 1/2. All of those are equivalent fractions. Okay, if you think about it, picture a circle in your head, picture 4 out of 8 colored in. Is that half?
Yeah.
Picture 2 out of 4 colored in. Is that half?
Yeah.
Picture 1 out of 2 colored in. Is that half? Yeah, they're all the same. Okay, they're all equivalent. Does anybody know how many equivalent fractions you can have? For one fraction. If I draw a circle, okay, we said that 1/2 is the same as 2/4 is the same as 4/8. Well, if I keep, if I keep this half shaded in, okay, so right now this shows me 2/4. Can I keep making lines in here?
Yes.
Can I do it even again?
Yes.
How about again? And again?
Yes.
And again?
Yes.
And again?
Yes.
So how many equivalent fractions can you have?
A lot. 9.
How many?
A lot.
How many is a lot? Can you have more than 20?
100.
100? Can you have more than 100?
Infinity.
Yes! Infinite possibilities. Okay? You can pick any number. You can do 2 times 2 and 1 times 2. You can pick 3s, you can pick 4s, you can pick 5s, you can pick 1 millions. You can pick 1,000,001 and 1,000,002. That can go on forever. You have infinite possibilities as far as equivalent fractions go. Yes, Victoria? Dividing, yes, but can I go through and can I change this to multiplication? So you can both divide and multiply. So now I have a new equivalent fraction of 8/16, right? Can I do it again? Can I multiply them both by 2 again and get 16/32? Can I multiply them by 2 again and get 32/64? Can I go again and again and again and again? Yes. Okay, infinite possibilities. Are we feeling okay with equivalent fractions? All right. Let's do, we'll do one together, and then I'm going to have you guys work on these on your own to create equivalent fractions, okay? I want you to make 2 equivalent fractions for each problem below. So you can either multiply by the same number or divide by the same number. You're probably going to have different answers than the person next to you, and that's okay. All right, so let's do one together, though. Let's see. Jonathan, what's your favorite number? 5. So we're going to do 1 times 5 and 3 times 5. We're going to multiply our numerator and denominator by the same number. So Jonathan, what's 1 times 5?
5.
And what's 3 times 5? Okay? That's an equivalent fraction. Sarah, what's your favorite number? 6. So we're going to make one more because I want you to make 2 equivalent fractions. What's 5 times 6? 30. What's 15 times 6? 15 times 6? 90. Okay, so here are equivalent fractions. 1/3 is equivalent to 5/15, which is equivalent to 30/90. Those are equivalent fractions. Do you guys think you could do some on your own? Yes? Okay, so again, you can either multiply or divide by the same number.